And away we go. It is the Aftermath. Brought to you by Mio's Pizza right here on BearcatJournal.com. Anytime you're up and around campus, make sure you're stopping by to see our good friends at Mio's. They will always get you taken care of. Great pizza. You can get the thin crust. You can get the deep dish. I love their steak hoagies. They've got great wedge fries, great appetizers. The pretzel bites are awesome. And, of course, cold drinks, including Cincy Light on tap. So go see our friends at Mio's anytime you're in and around campus. Maybe next Wednesday as the Bearcats play their final. It's hard to believe, Aaron. Next Wednesday is the final home game of the regular season for Cincinnati as they will take on the Kansas State Wildcats. The revenge tour continues next Wednesday night. But tonight, a big one. The Bearcats take down Baylor 69-67. Incredible first half, and then they held on for dear life as time expired, and they gut out a big win against look, here's the thing, Aaron. Baylor has the two best players on the floor. BJ Edgecombe and Norchad Omier are outstanding college basketball players. BJ Edgecombe is going to make a lot of money in the NBA. That dude's three-point stroke, I couldn't believe he missed the open one. Like with 3 minutes left or so, they got him an open one, wide open on the left wing, and he misses that one. He makes them with guys draped all over him, hand in his face, like 7 feet behind the 3-point line. But he missed a wide open one that really would have changed the complexion of that game. But instead, Bearcats get it done. Great play by Aziz Bandago. Great play by Day Thomas to cause the jump ball, and then Aziz defends the rim on Omier and knocks the ball away after the missed free throw to start the clock and get the Bearcats into the win column. They are now 7-10 in Big 12 play. They have won 5 of their last 7 in the conference. We're going to be talking about a lot of what ifs when this season ends, but alas, we're not going to talk about that tonight. Instead, we're going to talk about the Bearcats getting the job done. How about that, Aaron? It was exciting, to say the least.
It was that. It was a game that had everything. I mean, except dunks.
Yeah, no dunks.
There were literally no dunks
by either team.
By either team, correct.
No dunk attempts. 0 for 0 for Cincinnati and 0 for 0 for Baylor.
There was a putback that I don't think they didn't put on the 0 for 1. But Dylan definitely tried to put back that he did not get called on the foul that occurred.
Somebody shoved him in the back.
And he also went for a lob that didn't end up making it to him. But no dunks in this one, but you had an 18-2 run by Cincinnati, and then Cincinnati does what they do when they get a lead. They have no idea what to do with it, so they give the lead back, because why not? And then they made it a close game, and it was a duel the rest of the way. My goodness. George the Jungle was adamant that Omier fouled out repeatedly and just simply was not called for any of them, but I wasn't. Look, the refs made weird, wonky calls the entire game. It wasn't the weirdest game. It wasn't the weirdest game that we've seen, but it was. I feel like I've gotten used to it at this point. Nothing surprises me, and you're just happy to find yourself on the right side of the win-loss column at the end of the game.
Look, I know everybody gets on me for talking about the refs. They benefited Cincinnati like 4 or 5 times tonight on big calls. There was one in the first half that Jizzle got knocked away from him, went straight off his leg. The fourth foul on Omier just didn't happen. Like, it just didn't happen. There's probably another one on him that was questionable as well. So George may think he fouled out, but the fouls that he had were a little bit questionable. They missed a couple calls, like we said, the shove on Dylan, who just goes flying on that tip back dunk attempt. Like, you think he mistimed his jump that bad that he went 8 feet the wrong way? Like, they're just bad. They're just bad. Tony Padilla is not, I mean, come on, man. Like, I did see a little Aaron before the game when West came out. Tony Padilla pulled him aside and, like, it looked like essentially apologized for what happened the last time we had Tony Padilla when TJ Otzelberger spent 3 minutes with him and then called the phantom technical on West for being mad about a call that was completely missed. It looked like that was a mea culpa from Tony Padilla. Like, my bad, bro. I messed that one up.
He didn't want to do that at halftime for 3 minutes while the other coach and his staff went into the locker room. Weird. But yeah, I mean, I guess kind of that to that point, Cincinnati 9 of 14 from the free throw line, and Baylor only 4 of 5. So we've found ourselves on both sides of this season. It's been weird. I don't know what you can't make heads or tails of any game. You just have to hope that you're on the right side. But it is what it is. But
yeah,
I don't know.
But I just wanted to prove my point that, like, it's not just when refs are bad against Cincinnati. Like, that crew was just bad. And then somebody mentioned, like, Reed lost the ball out of bounds. They gave it to UC. Jizzle had one off its leg. They gave to UC. There was a couple that I thought were off of Baylor that they gave to Baylor. Like, they just
the first half where they didn't reset the shot clock, and you're halfway into a possession, and you just stop the clock to go ahead and reset the shot clock for 7 seconds or whatever.
That was the right call.
Sure, but
I watched it live.
Why did you let it go that long? Like, it's frustrating as a fan watching the game. It's frustrating that you let it go that far into the shot clock, and you're like, oh, now we got to stop it, and now you're short on time. I don't know.
I mean, I saw it happen. They got the rebound with 22, 23 seconds, and the shot clock resets to 20. So there was like a 2.5, 3 second difference. You're right. It just shouldn't have taken 9 seconds for them to realize what had happened and go over like that. That throws off what you're trying to do at the end of a half. Did West comment on Aziz's injury? Said he rolled his ankle. Said he didn't think he was going to be able to go back in and play, but then he did, and thank God he did, because he made 2 massive plays at the end. Maybe the most impactful 3-point game I can remember. Dylan was outstanding. Josh was outstanding. It was just an all-around quality performance.
Agreed. I don't know. Where do you really want to start with this one?
Where do you want to start? I mean, I guess we could start with just the first half.
Josh Reed show? Because Josh was tied at the end of the first half. Josh and Jizzle led all Bearcats with 9 each. But Josh Reed continues to show some razzle-dazzle that we were begging somebody to show us earlier in the season, anybody to show us earlier in the season. Josh Reed gets the start over a surprise. CMOS playing in the game. CMOS did not get the start. Josh continues to get that. And he's earned it by all counts, as he got 33 minutes today.
I don't think this is something I ever thought I was going to say, Aaron. You can't take Josh Reed out of the starting lineup.
I agree, and I never thought I'd hear those words.
Josh Reed has done so well. We're at a point that something that is actually said about Josh Reed is that you cannot remove him from the starting lineup.
I feel like we're in Crazy Town, and Josh Reed is the president of Crazy Town. But let's go. He adds 11. What's the countdown to? Is it?
I'll have to check. I'll check here in a minute. I'm
With
getting George in the Jungle published and getting some other things done, but it's 770 something.
All right. But he gets 11. I was actually disappointed he didn't get more looks in the second half. I don't know if Baylor was scheming to stop him or what was going on.
I thought he had 2 that he could have tried to squeeze off, but they would have been rushed a little bit, and that just is not who Josh Reed is as a player. Like, he is not going to – if he has got it, he will take it like he did on the corner 3 that he made, but he is not going to, like, force anything, and he's going to move the ball if it's not there. I thought there were 2 for sure that he could have gotten off, but he didn't.
I enjoyed the Dirk fadeaway.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he is putting the ball on the ground and doing things that we wanted to see guys not afraid to drive to the hole, and he's putting it on the floor and he's driving to the hole. It's fantastic what he has just decided that he's going to do. And truthfully, if Baylor did decide that they wanted to take him out in the second half, you take out him, you also take out a huge crowd presence because the crowd feeds on Josh Reed right now.
They love Josh Reed. So what, he had 11. So he's at an even 222. So 778 is your count, Aaron.
Man,
he is he needs 778 points to get to 1,000.
Let's go. I'm not kidding you. I expect to see the whiteboard by next season. Should he be one of the Bearcats still here? And at this point, I don't know how you let him go anywhere.
That there would be mutiny if Josh Reed's not back on this team for as long as he can play college basketball.
I take back my answer from last night's show. He is one of the 3 that I am definitely keeping at this point. Tyler Betsy be damned. I'm keeping Josh Reed. I'm all in on this dude. In any case,
Chris said he's going to get 778 against Houston on Saturday. What's up, Helmers?
But I don't know. He was everything they needed him to be in the first half. You don't go on that 18-2 run without Josh Reed. The poke away steal he had, was that the one that led to the fantastic breakaway where Dylan fed Jizzle for that amazing layup?
Yeah, I think so. Chris says, is this all the elements of his game that led me to believe he'd be a 1,000-point scorer is what I believed he would be, Chris. He actually, the one move that I have not seen him use, he did tonight. That spin move was like his go-to move in high school. Just like that looping, like spin move. It's not like a quick.
It's so slow.
He can't use it at this level. Like, it's not something he can use at this level because he'll get picked from behind like 9 times out of 10. But I finally saw the Josh Reed spin move that he used in high school. You know what my favorite Josh Reed play was, though, Aaron?
I don't.
Baseline, gets O'Meara up in the air. I think it was O'Meara. And then immediately, as soon as he got his hands up, he went up into him and drew the foul to get to the free throw line and put a foul. Like, that's just a heady, smart basketball player. As soon as he had the advantage, he just went into him for the foul. He knew he wasn't going to make a layup in that position, in that situation, but he knew he had a chance to draw the foul and get to the free throw line, and immediately like came up under and got the smack on both arms. But no, Chris, this is he's just a smart basketball player. And I think last year he wasn't being asked to score. He was being asked to sub for John Newman and just hold the fort, play defense, hit an open 3 if you get an open 3.
Tread water.
Yeah, just do this is your job. Go in and do exactly your job. And now we're starting to see a little bit of that freedom for him to, back a guy down, for him to hit that little 15-foot fadeaway, for him to get to the free throw line, for him to make an open three. You're just starting to see the confidence grow in his ability, and confidence is, it's a weird thing in basketball, man. It's a weird thing.
Him going back down the floor after a made shot, it might have been after the Dirk fadeaway. But after a made shot, he's going back down the floor. He's barking. I don't know if he's barking at Baylor. I don't know if he's barking at his teammates, whoever he's barking at. That is not Josh Reed. He has morphed into this new Josh Reed. Like, he leveled up. He leveled up. Like, it's crazy to see this dude.
Gray Bush. So what everybody is talking about when they say 5th year. So if he's going to get to 1,000, I don't think he's going to score 750 points next year. If he did, that would be great. But in 30 games, it's probably not likely that he's going to get 700-ish points next year. So if he's going to get to 1,000, which, look, y'all will never shut me up if I end up being right on Josh Reed getting to 1,000 points.
I might quit.
Never, ever, ever, ever. But what everybody's talking about is if the 5 for 5 goes through, where you get 5 years to play 5, which I think by the time we get to the end of next year, I think 5 for 5 is going to be a thing. And then he will get a 5th year on top of his senior year next year. So that's what everybody's talking about. With 2 years playing like he's playing right now, Aaron, I think he can get there. It would be, he'd need like 13 points a game his senior and then super senior year. But I think he could get there.
He'd also need to be like Gary Clark Light next year. Like, I mean, that's a tall task.
Yes, it's unlikely, but he is 21 for 32 from the floor since February 8th.
He is the stingiest of those who pick their spots. The stingiest.
Yes.
Drew, it was it's not that I don't want Jizzle next year. Jizzle was one of 3 players. We had to pick 3 players in the mailbag from the BBP. I picked Jizzle, Dylan, and Tyler Betsy. I'm switching Tyler Betsy out. He's gone. We'll see you later. And I'm keeping Josh Reed all in.
But yeah. And Dylan tonight was, we'll get to the specifics in a little bit, but Dylan tonight was outstanding. Played great defense. He was all over the place. 9 boards, 13 points. That was as good as I've seen him play all year. I'm not going to go, it was his best game, but I don't recall him playing any better than that. You know what I mean?
He's been the one solid player the entirety of this season. From bell to bell, he has been about as reliable as anybody on this, more reliable than anyone else on this entire team. Dylan Mitchell has been everything we hoped that he would be, and he even hitting the threes that he's hit, like, he had not hit a single 3 coming into this season his entire collegiate career. He does it again tonight. He's elevated his game while it's still not where some people want him to be, because they want him to have this post game that rivals Danny Fortson. That's just not who he is.
Not who he is.
I don't understand it. He does try the little baby hook at times. He tried it tonight. It didn't work. But he is, again, just as reliable a player as there's been in Wes's tenure. He's right up there with David DeJulius. He's right up there with what Landers was. I don't know what more you want out of Dylan Mitchell outside of this made-up post game that people think that he has or could have.
A couple things really stood out to me. 1.211 points per possession. They didn't turn it over, only 12.3% turnover rate. They turned it over 7 times the entire game. Credit to them for bouncing back on second chance points. I don't know if you noticed at halftime, Aaron, Baylor had 4 offensive rebounds in the first half. and 8 second chance points. They hit 2 threes
Ugh.
and a 2 on their 4 offensive rebounds. Cincinnati only had 2 offensive rebounds in the first half and no points. 8-0 to be up 13 and losing in second chance points 8-0. They were very fortunate there. Second half, Baylor only gets 6 second chance points. Cincinnati gets 9. And kind of flipped the script on that storyline in the second half. And guess what? They needed every damn one of them. Needed every damn one of them.
Neil Slayton's been keeping track, and actually Cincinnati opponents are now 99% on three-pointers after an offensive rebound. He dropped that stat on George in the Jungle in the chat. So
and it doesn't feel like he's wrong.
No.
Feels like every time.
He said, I think he said 3 of 3 tonight. But
yeah.
Just anytime a team gets the opposition gets an offensive rebound and kicks it out for a 3, bang. It's
Cincinnati
crazy.
lost the rebounding battle, but by 2, 31-29. I'll take that. For what we've seen from this team at times, Aaron, as long as they're within like 2 or 3 on the glass, I'm okay with it.
But you didn't lose. You didn't lose every battle, though. You won the turnover battle 7-12. You shot right there with them, 46% to 47%, 43% from 3 to 44%. I guess.
And then the key to the game is the line again. Go ahead.
I was going to say free throws. While you only shot 64%, you were 9 of 14. Compared to 4 or 5. So,
second game in a row, a team that lives at the free throw line to generate, a good chunk of their offense, and Cincinnati just does not put them in position to get to the line. I'm sure Baylor fans are pissed. Only 3 fouls on Cincinnati until they gave a couple fouls there at the end. I know everybody's upset about this. Here's what you don't want. And ideally, yes, you would have let another 2-3 seconds run off the clock before you commit those fouls each time. But if Baylor knows you're going to do it, what you have to be careful of is them just knowing that you're going to come and give a foul and rising up and getting fouled shooting a 3-pointer. Right?
Look, I'm not upset about that. I'm only upset that it was Jizzle twice, and you put him at 4 fouls, and it's a 2-point game. And if you're looking at overtime, and you got Jizzle going into overtime at 4 fouls, that's what I was nervous about. Especially when you got Josh Reed with no fouls, Dylan with no fouls. Put anybody, send CJ Frederick in for a foul. Just anybody.
Well, he left. Looked like his back locked up on it.
I saw him with the band on. You can still go out and push somebody.
So yeah, I get why people wanted them to waste another second or 2 in those situations, but more than anything, you're just trying to get them out of rhythm, get them to a point where they're having to inbound it over and over again. Yeah, I mean that's another good point, Chris. But yeah, you give them kind of quick there. Maybe you'd like an extra second to run off the clock before he does. But like I said, I worry about in those situations that, especially with a team that shoots it as well as Baylor, knowing Cincinnati's luck, Aaron, they'd go to give a foul. The guy rides up, hit the 3, get fouled, go to the free throw line and make a free throw. And all of a sudden you go from up 2 to down 2 in that situation.
I wasn't upset about any of that.
I know. I saw that a bunch online and on the message board.
The only thing I was upset about is the fact that it was Jizzle twice, and all of a sudden he goes from 2 to 4 fouls. And again, it's a 1-possession game. And if you end up in a situation where you're in overtime, you could potentially be playing without Jizzle James, who is your leading scorer this month.
Yeah. No, for sure. That I don't know what else you can do. You put somebody else on their point guard, I guess. But if I'm Baylor, I'm like, I'm throwing it to the guy that Jizzle is guarding so that he has to foul that guy. Like, I want Jizzle to pick up, strategically Kevin says Chip Gaines is pissed tonight.
Good.
But yeah, the let's go back to Baylor comes out scorching hot again, Aaron. And I know this is something that you're gonna have to deal with when you're playing these more elite offensive teams, but the second half of the first half, like the last 10 minutes of the first half, was as good as they've been defensively in ages.
18-2 run. You held Baylor scoreless for what, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that?
Yeah. I mean, I think they scored 4 points over the final 10 minutes of the half. What'd they end up with? 26. Yeah, 10-12 left in the half. Robert Wright hit a second chance 3-point jumper. Shocking. To put Baylor up 22-17, and they scored 4 points over the final 10 minutes of the half. It's pretty good. Pretty good. And and Dave rightfully on the Bearcat Journal account was talking about, hey, like you've locked them up, but you're not getting, like, you're only up 5. This team's going to need to like put it in gear going into the half. And then they pushed it from 5 up to 13 at halftime, which was critical because, look, you knew Baylor was going to come back. You knew Edgecombe was going to make some shots. You knew Omier was going to, make some plays at the rim eventually. Some of those coming after Aziz kind of turned that ankle and didn't look as mobile. We'll get to that a little bit when we're doing player breakdowns. But they did enough in that stretch where they were super active. They were getting deflections. They were getting steals. They were playing with a lot more confidence. Baylor was arguing with each other in the huddles. Like the frustration was immense on their end for the last 10 minutes of the first half. And that is, I think, the best, because what have we talked about? They've been able to do one thing, but not the other. They've been able to do this, but not that. That was the most complete 10-minute stretch they've had since conference play started, I think. Maybe the second half stretch against BYU where they pulled away. But one of those two.
That's, I guess, one of the downsides to taking the game in at home is you don't get to see the huddles where they're arguing with each other and all of that. They didn't show anything like that, and kind of surprising, especially since one of the guys on the
he went to Baylor.
I know. That's what I was getting at.
I heard bad things. I heard he was very, very happy with how things were going in the game down in Waco, because he called both games. And, Baylor blew UC out in that game. So, like, he was right down the middle in that game. I heard tonight he was pretty annoying.
I didn't find myself annoyed. And generally, I feel like I'm not too hard to annoy with those types of things. And I didn't ever really find that. But I just never really found myself irritated with him. I kind of found myself rooting even harder for Cincinnati, so he lost and had to watch his team lose. I don't know. I'm trying to think if anything else really stood out. I know there was one play where Cincinnati ended up getting a rebound, and they called a jump ball, and Cincinnati ended up getting like thrown while on this rebound for the jump ball. I think it was maybe Josh Reed. I don't know if you recall the play I'm talking about.
I'm trying to scroll through the Rolodex or the index of my brain, and I don't.
That was just one of those weird foul calls. I guess kind of going back to that. Oh, Tyler, Betsy.
Yeah.
Eddie,
if I got you kicked out of your high school intramural league, you probably deserved it, buddy. What'd you do? Don't blame it on me. What'd you do, Eddie? Blame it on you. What'd you do to get kicked out of your high school intramural league? And I didn't grow up with anybody named Eddie Congress. You break.
All right. That was a tangent I did not expect.
I didn't either, but I mean, you know, if you're going to accuse me of something.
Here we are.
I almost got kicked out of the game tonight.
You did tell me that story. They did not seem to miss Ojimuna as much as we anticipated.
They still did. They still. I thought they. What were the layups?
7 of 14.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think defensively they're not the same without having him kind of back there. He probably did get confused with Brad Schindel. You're right, Gray Bush. That's right. I think they lack some of that size. And also, Aaron, what probably hurt them when Omier goes out with his fourth foul, they don't have a big. Like, they had to play that big white stiff that couldn't do anything. Like, they just do not have anybody else to put in to give them any size when Omier picked up his fourth foul.
Do we think that's I guess Marino Dubravcic?
Number 22, the big white stiff.
Yeah, that's him.
He played 2 minutes. It did not go well for him.
Well, I mean, it didn't go well for Cincinnati either when Aziz was out and you're running Dylan at the 5, and between him and Seamas are getting picked on by Omier. Like, that was not a fun segment to watch at all.
No.
And then we call it.
I mean, Dylan held his own, but he can't guard Omier. He can't.
Then we call a timeout, and we still ran both those guys back out there. I thought they called the timeout to get somebody in at center. Like, I don't know, Arlington Page.
No.
Or to bring Aziz back. And
they thought Aziz was not going to be able to come back in.
Well, the announcement crew did not know that. They did not get that memo. I didn't know that. I had no idea he was even injured at that point in time or nursing any type of injury. I'm blind, flying blind out here.
He turned an ankle. I don't notice if they gave away the arcade game today. I'm usually like updating Twitter and looking at stats and doing stuff during the timeouts to where I do not get to really pay attention to those. Unfortunately, I did hear the crowd boo the guy doing the 3-point shootout today because apparently he was terrible. But I don't know that answer, Kevin.
Brian Cook in the house flow today.
He was. Look, if we don't have Brian Cook Monday night, Royer might be fired. Remember how Royer said he didn't have tickets last night, Aaron?
Yeah.
I got Royer seats, 3rd row, center court, right behind the scorer's table. And I told him when Brian Cook was shown on the video board, we better have Brian Cook Monday night on the BBP. So it is his job to get that done. He did not text me to say he got it done. So I'm not confident that it's going to happen. But come on.
Come on.
This one, Bearcats won. They drew up a touchdown to Josh on that last inbounds play that Dylan came for the ball and got fouled, and Seamas didn't throw it. Josh was wide open, running down the floor. It would have been a Josh Reed dunk to end that game, and that place would have lost its absolute fucking mind.
As long as he doesn't hit his face on the floor again after he does it. I was worried.
He got fouled, Aaron. He got fouled.
I was worried he was going to have a concussion. We cannot have a Josh Reed concussion right now.
No. The most irreplaceable player on the team right now is Josh Reed.
I know.
Look, Chris, I am not saying I can shoot threes. You do not want to see me down there shooting threes. I'm just saying I heard the distaste from the crowd when that guy couldn't make a three. Yeah, there was nobody within 30 feet of Josh. He was wide open for the touchdown dunk to end the game. Seamus has got to let that one go. He's got to pull the trigger on it and get it to Josh to seal the deal, which would have once again tied his career high at 13. That man loves 13 points.
He should change his number next year
to 13.
Yes.
All right. You wanna go guy by guy? I don't have a whole lot else, Aaron.
Fair enough. The win. And the beat goes on. Jizzle James, 18 points, 6 of 20 from the field. My goodness. 3 of 8 from 3, 3 of 4 from the line, 1 rebound defensive, 1 assist, 4 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 34 minutes played, tied for most with Dylan and +5 on the plus minus.
Kevin, maybe Chris can get your kid as the Skyline Ball kid. Chris, Kevin needs you. We got 1 game left. Chris, you need to get Kevin's son to be the Skyline Ball kid. Can we get Royer a flight to Houston? He's undefeated, Aaron. He won again. He's 3-0.
I wore the shoes tonight. I didn't wear them. Didn't wear them on Saturday. I was nervous. I didn't want to break my streak. I wore the shoes tonight. And George bet on Baylor tonight, so he continues with his betting on the other
it was
team.
1.5, and the game was 2. Did he get it at 1.5?
He says the amounts that he has been betting on the teams has incrementally gone down, but he's still losing money every game. But he feels good about it because we're winning. So anyway. All right. I'll let you read that.
At Shaman Gym, they had a no dunk rule because they didn't have a breakaway rim. That is correct. Stole the ball at half court, got my steps right, threw one down. I could barely dunk, and it was my only in-gamer. How did I get you thrown out, Eddie? I don't know. This is all hearsay. I don't remember an Eddie Congress. Eddie, what's your real name? What's your real name, Eddie? I feel like if you could dunk at Lloyd, I would have known who you were.
It's getting weird. So Jizzle, though, 18 points to lead all Bearcats. He had a hell of a game.
Yeah, he did. You know what? I think he only hit, 1 mid-range jumper? He missed a lot of them.
He did miss a lot of them.
Well, he had 3. He only had 6 baskets. 3 of them were threes. 1 of them was a driving layup to the rim.
Amazing.
Do more of that. And he had 2 others, so maybe 2 mid-range jumpers. But his mid-range was not hitting tonight, and he still got to 18, Aaron. Like, that is...
You're so distracted by the chat.
I am. I complained to Ricky Tyler. That sounds like something I would do, Eddie. Rules are rules. That's why I almost got kicked out of the arena tonight. Rules are rules. I was standing in a fire lane. I was a fire hazard. But Jizzle did not have his mid-range game going, but still managed to get 18, which is a significant development for this team, Aaron.
Hell yeah.
When he has it going, he cooks. When he hasn't had it going, we've had a bunch of those like 5-point games, 7-point games. And if he would not have been good getting points because his mid-range jumper was off, Cincinnati was going to lose this game. So kudos to Jizzle for getting some threes, getting to the free throw line a couple times, and figuring out a way to be super productive even if he didn't have that mid-range going.
All right. Dylan Mitchell, 13 points, 6 of 9 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. And just for fun, that puts him 7 of 30 from 3 this season. So 7 made threes in his career. 0 for 1 at the line in a big spot. 2 offensive rebounds, 7 defensive rebounds, giving him 9, 1 shy of the double-double. 3 assists, a turnover, a block, a hell of a block. That block was amazing.
Yeah.
Was that
Chase
VJ,
down.
VJ Edgecombe, right?
It was Edgecombe, and I think Day deserves a little bit of credit there because he cut in front of him on his way to the rim that just slowed him a half a step and allowed Dylan to get in there and make the block. And
one
this
block.
is scaring me, Aaron, because now Eddie's telling the Michigan, the gold. Remember, I've told this story before. They sent me home.
You weren't allowed to wear the
pants and the jersey.
Yeah,
I could wear the shorts. I could wear the jersey, but I couldn't wear the shorts and the jersey. So Eddie is telling the truth here. I apparently got him kicked out of an intramural game because he dunked and he wasn't allowed to. I'm going to believe him.
I'm really enjoying Eddie being your arch enemy here. As if you didn't already have enough of those. 1 turnover, 1 block, 1 steal for Dylan. 34 minutes played. Again, tied with Jizzle for the most minutes played. +2 on the plus minus.
I can't say enough good things about what Dylan does. The 3 assists were big. I thought he was moving the ball really well offensively. I agree with Wes that they probably needed to get him in isolation, backing his guy down, and allowing him to work a little bit, because I think that was working for him quite a bit tonight. I would like to have seen a little more of it. Maybe it is something, and it's different because they didn't have a second big to really throw at him. So, you're not always going to have that advantage that he had tonight, where he had a guard on him for pretty much most of the evening, and then Omir was on Aziz. But I would like to see a little more of that, because I think it's something he's good at, and he was effective with it tonight.
Agreed.
Ricky, Daryl, I will tell you this. You do not want Ricky Tyler entering the chat. That was a character. Ricky Tyler was a trip, boy.
Old chat is a trip. Josh Reed, 3rd highest scoring Bearcat. It's the Twilight Zone. I don't know what happened this season. The savior of the season, Josh Reed.
Literally the savior of the season.
I know. 4 of 5 from the field, 1 for 1 is only 3, 2 of 3 at the line, 2 offensive, 2 defensive, giving him 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 33 minutes played. Crazy town. President Josh, 11 on the plus minus to lead all Bearcats.
I love it, man. I'm so happy. Again, I've said this every time. I'm so happy for Josh. Like, this is what college sports, in an era when this doesn't happen anymore, this is what it's about. Ricky Tyler was the freshman basketball coach. That's a true story. You should have grown sooner, Eddie Congress. Wait.
Where are we?
Is this Sean Kelly? Is this Sean Kelly? Did I put it together? Is this Sean Kelly?
All right.
If it's Sean Kelly, we got a lot more stories. Sean Kelly and I would go way back.
Josh Reed.
Yeah,
Focus.
Josh Reed. The Josh Reed show is a top UC basketball moment. It is, because this is what it's supposed to be about. Guy comes into the program, he develops. He played an important role last year where we didn't think we would see Josh Reed. Like, there was talk of redshirting Josh Reed. as a sophomore. He earned his minutes last year. He got shuffled back down the list again to where he wasn't really going to play this year either. And then he worked his way back into the rotation again. And now this team's not successful. This team is not 5-2 over the last 7 games without Josh Reed.
We are in a world where Josh Reed elevated his game past Dan Skillings.
Yeah. Who was honorable mention all Big 12 last year.
I don't understand.
As somebody pointed out tonight, Josh Reed plus 11, Dan Skillings minus 7. An 18-point difference on the floor from Josh Reed to Dan Skillings. And that has been a regular thing. A regular thing.
In any case.
Good for Josh Reed. That his 3-ball just doesn't even come close to the rim anymore. Like, remember how he used to airball all of them? Now they just go straight through the damn net. Straight through the damn net every time. At least someone was working in the offseason.
True story. Day Thomas, 10 points, 3 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 2 of 2 from the line, 1 offensive, 1 defensive rebound, giving him 2. Did he get credited with the rebound on that jump ball? I assume not.
No.
But that was just as big as any rebound he had in the game. 4 assists, 1 foul, 3 turnovers, 1 block, 3 steals, 29 minutes played, -2.
He played great defense, especially that 10-minute stretch in the second half. He was outstanding, disrupting Baylor's offense, keeping them from really getting into any rhythm and getting into a lot of late clock situations where they just weren't comfortable. He was awesome. Didn't have it going offensively tonight, but steps up and hits that 3 in that final segment that was, just enough to get them across the finish line. It was it's a gritty, Bearcat-like effort from Day Thomas. 3 of 8, but makes both of those big threes and just gutted it out. And look, there's no bigger play in that game, Aaron, than him digging that ball out for a jump ball.
That's what I said.
Out of Amir's hands. I agree. There's no bigger play in the game than him getting that ball tied up because Amir had it in his hands.
Well, he had his hands. Truthfully, he had no business even being down there. Like, what is Day even doing down there other than being scrappy and getting the job done? And I feel like plays like that is where you should see a guy like a Dan Skillings, but usually he's leaking out trying to cherry pick, and here Day is going for the rebound. So it's little things like that.
Amir had the rebound. Like, he had it.
I'm aware.
And Day, I think, was whoever was in the corner. I think Day was responsible for him. And he just came in and said, no, I'm not letting you get this shot up to tie this game. I am taking this shit from you, and we are winning this game. That's winning basketball. Winning play by Day Thomas that this team needs more of.
And that came really, I mean, when did he dribble it off of his leg for that turn? That came in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
It was in the last segment, yeah. It was right when they got up 6, and then it slipped away.
A play like that could have just wrecked everything mentally for the rest of the game, but instead he just grits and bears and makes sure that he's there for as big a play as any in this entire game. So huge deal.
You are absolutely right, Drew. The Mitchell block, the Day jump ball, the Aziz punch out on the rebound from the missed free throw, just doing enough to survive and get the clock to 0. Like, that's what you have to do in this league, and that's what this team has not done enough of. We have not been able to sit here and talk about, here are 3 or 4 critical winning plays in the final 4 minutes that got Cincinnati over the hump. And we were able to do it tonight because those three guys all made a critical play.
Truthfully, the guys who are in the team numbers, I don't think they make plays like that. But one of those guys, 7 points for Simas Lukosius, 2 of 5 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 1 of 2 from the stripe, 1 defensive rebound, 2 assists, a turnover, 17 minutes played, -3.
2 big threes for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The one in the second half was massive. I thought he had a chance to get hot there and hit a couple more and just didn't get him up over the rim. They were picking on him a little bit, which is going to happen when Baylor's got 4 guards on the floor. Like they've got the mismatch to kind of pick on Simas. That's not his strength, guarding a guard out on the perimeter. But good to see him back. Good to see him. 17 minutes. He gave the offense some spacing, and he hit a couple threes. So got what you needed for a guy that, based on what we knew 3 days ago, I didn't think there was a chance in hell that he was going to be able to play today. You could see his right shoulder. It looked like they had been doing the cup suction things. They had been scraping, like they had been doing everything humanly possible to wake that arm back up.
He had something on, like some type of sling or something when he was going to the bench. Yeah. And truthfully, I don't hate him in this role, coming off the bench and giving a little lift to your bench guy, especially if we're going to continue to get the gritty play that we got out of your starters.
Yeah. Josh Reed. Josh Reed changed it all.
Banana land. I don't know where I'm at. Dan Skillings, 4 points, 2 of 5 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. The one he took was dreadful. If he shoots 3 seconds after we've passed midcourt ever again, just bench him the rest of the game. I'm over it.
Yeah, that's the dumbest shot of the day. Just the dumbest shot. What are you doing? What do you think makes that a good decision? What in your brain says, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this one up? Like, keep driving, keep attacking, keep going baseline, keep getting downhill to the rim. Shoot a 3 if you're wide open in rhythm of the offense. But if you take another 3 with 25 seconds on the shot clock, like, get out of here.
I thought he was going to have a good game too after he goes baseline for that layup that where he went off the backboard with it. It was beautiful. And a play, truthfully, that I think he's the only one on the team that can make. And I was like, all right, we're going to get to see Baylor Dan. And it was all downhill from there.
Look, I'm going to say this, Drew. If they take Josh Reed out of the starting lineup, we're storming the castle.
1 offensive rebound for Dan Skillings, giving him his only rebound of the day. 1 assist, 2 fouls, 15 minutes played, -7. That was not Baylor Dan.
It was not.
We left him in Waco, apparently. Last year.
1 rebound. 15 minutes, 1 rebound. Got to be better.
Period.
Got to be better.
Especially against a team. He is literally taller than like 4 dudes on the floor at any given moment for Baylor.
Yeah.
Aziz, 3 points, 1 for 1 from the field, 1 for 2 from the line, 2 offensive, 5 defensive rebounds, giving him 7 on the day, 2 assists, 2 fouls. I believe you said in the presser, he did get credit. His 7th rebound was actually that last rebound where he kicks it back for stealing the game. 27 minutes played, though, for Aziz, gutting it out on a bad foot, -1.
Did a great job on Omier before the ankle turn. After that, Omier got going a little bit, but his length was a problem. Omier got frustrated trying to shoot over him. You could tell that the frustration was building as the game went along because he just could not get that little, righty lefty action right at the rim that he's used to from like 3 or 4 feet. One of the better 3-point games from somebody I can remember.
He's exhibited everything you want out of a Bearcat pretty much all season. Dylan being the top level of consistency the entire season. Aziz is not far below that tier.
I love watching AZ play.
3 points for Tyler Betsy, 1 for 1 from the field. Happened to be a 3. 2 defensive rebounds. 8 minutes played, -4. He's still doing the things that I've wanted to see him do all season. He's getting inside the arc and getting involved in the play. And I'm enjoying seeing him kind of grow throughout this season in that regard.
Yeah, I agree.
We will go Arnton Page. 1 defensive rebound, 1 foul, 3 minutes played, +6.
Make it make sense.
I can't. And
I mean, he got beat. He got beat for 2 offensive rebounds. Just didn't even look like he gave any effort at all. Just like watched the ball go to a Baylor guy. I think one of them was for a kick out 3 where he just kind of watched it. I'm like, you can't play him. Can't play him.
And last but not least, CJ Frederick. No stats, 1 minute played, +3, and he had a wrap around his waist and back, assuming for his back. I don't know what's going on with him.
Didn't look good.
+3.
I mean, he played 1 minute. He made a hustle play down the floor on a fast break. And then immediately his back locked up on him. So, yep. All right, boys and girls. I think that's about going to wrap it up. It was a big one. Bearcats do just enough. 69-67. I said they needed to get CJ Frederick did not play high school ball with me, Eddie Congress. CJ Frederick graduated high school in like 2017. I was in my 40s when CJ Frederick graduated high school. Now you're just messing with me. I said they needed to get to 70, Aaron, but it really was just 69.
Nice.
Do the unthinkable Saturday. I'll talk about this more tomorrow. We are going to do a watch party. Holy Grail, 4:30 Saturday to watch the Bearcats take on Houston. That's going to wrap it up. We'll see everybody tomorrow night. If you're here, make sure before you leave, drop a like, drop a subscribe. Eddie and Chad beef is real. It's just real because he won't tell me his damn name. It's crap. We'll see you tomorrow at 8.
Francis.
Lighten up, Francis. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 for the BBP. And then Aaron and I will talk about that Oklahoma State win over Iowa State that happened tonight. That's the Aftermath. Brought to you by Mio's Pizza. Live from the Cincy Light Studios. Right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!